do you know about the Bermuda Triangle?
Lot.
What's the first thing that comes to mind? It's a triangle. Shipwrecks. So, in order to have a phenomenon, you need to have things happen there. And the thing the Bermuda Triangle is most associated with is things disappearing there. So the question is, where did they go? Right? I mean, we should be able to answer that. So either we know where they went, or we don't. And if we don't know where they went, well, then there's a mystery, right? We should solve that. But is there really a mystery? So I took 25 of the most well-known disappearances in the triangle, and I just did a very cursory bit of research into them to see if maybe I could figure out what actually happened to them. And these are my results. And I'm only going to ask Brian to come up here and unlock his phone.
Hey! Whoa!
So that car went missing in 1964. And was driving in Miami, and then poof.
Just now as well.
No. I think you're thinking of Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen, yes.
No, this is a 908.
And I would have thought it was a 907.
Well, we all make that.
Don't even go there. That's not, seriously, that's not even something to joke about.
Oh!
Thank you.
Fighting words.
Okay, so map of the Bermuda Triangle, right? This will be important. So here we go. I'm doing this as alphabetical, as numerical as I can, but I'm going to jump around a little bit, and it's because I didn't sort it properly, and that's how it is. First vessel I could find, well, all right, first thing that happened to the Bermuda Triangle. Anyone know what that was? It was the first thing ever in the area.
The flight thing.
No, but we are going to get to that. Columbus is correct. Columbus saw lights that he couldn't explain. There were lights like in the distance, and they would come on and off, and there was a mystery. Why do you think he was seeing lights in the distance going on and off? Anyone have a guess?
Lightning.
It wasn't lightning. It was natives. They had fires on the beaches, and the ship was going up and down. I mean, you know, it's not hard, folks, but you can embellish it. So, all right. So after that, the next record I could find was the USRC Pickering, which I believe was a revenue cutter. I believe that's what the RC was, Coast Guard ship. In September. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. My thing isn't doing what I thought. Okay. In September of 1800. It disappeared in the Bahamas, okay, which is where we are, Bahamas, which stands for shallow seas, although it's not. Some of the actually can get very deep here. And there was a massive storm that day that it disappeared. I wonder if there might be a relationship. I know correlation does not equal causation, but might infer that maybe the storm. But okay, that's a legitimate loss in the Bermuda Triangle. No trace of that vessel has ever been found that we know of. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to the next one. The Patriot, name of the ship, disappeared in December of 1812 off the coast of Cape Hatteras. Uh-oh.
That's a little out of
Cape Hatteras, way the hell up here. Not the triangle. Does not count. And there was a big storm, and there was also this little conflict with the British at the time. So, what happened to it? I don't know. 1814, October, the USS Wasp disappeared in, the Caribbean, which isn't even on the map. It's so far away from the Bermuda Triangle, it's not on the map. We had a little talk about this earlier. The Caribbean is south of Cuba. We're not going into the Caribbean. Then the Caribbean and the Bermuda Triangle have nothing to do with each other. So that doesn't count. And, oh yeah, storm plus war again. Okay. Then there's the Rosalie and the Rosini. This, I think, might meet your definition of an urban legend. I don't know, but it has gotten so confused in the story that no one even knows what the name of the ship is. All the stories intertwined. There are local versions of the story. It led from this port. So I'm just writing that one off as just stupid. However, it supposedly disappeared where we are right now.
Right now?
Straight to Florida, yeah.
What year was that?
That was in 1840, August 27th. We have a date for that one.
Was it a steamship or a
No,
sailing ship?
that was a sailing ship. As was the Mary Celeste. You've heard of Mary
Oh,
Celeste?
yeah.
Where did the Mary Celeste disappear? The Azores.
Oh.
Nowhere near the Bermuda Triangle, but, well, it's such a good story. We gotta put it in the book, you know, because the book will be interesting then, right? I think we heard somebody say that. So yeah, that was December 5th, 1872, my birthday. And, yeah, I'm that old. But yeah, that was in the Azores. So that one doesn't count. Okay, next. HMS, not Atlanta, Atalanta.
And
be
a-
confusing. There's an extra A in there just for fun. December 13th, 1880, and it sank here. There's no close enough in this, folks. I am not counting it. You have to be in the triangle, or you are not a Bermuda Triangle phenomenon, in my opinion. And, oh yeah, there was a storm, and the vessel was known to be unseaworthy, sailing into one of the most dangerous places in the world. So, no, okay. Next, we have the USS Wildcat. It's a very exciting name. 1824, sunk in the Straits of Florida, which is where we are, which is not in the Bermuda Triangle. And yeah, there was a storm, because you know what? This is one of the stormiest parts of the world here. That might explain a bunch of it. This one's interesting, the Ellen Austin. I think that was a Skeptoid episode. I think it's actually in there. The Ellen Austin, 1881. Do you know where it sank?
No.
So it's this little place called,
Ellen.
it's way the hell up there, it's called Newfoundland. That would not be in the Bermuda Triangle, folks, I'm sorry. Okay, now the Genesis freighter, this one's actually, it's a freighter called Genesis. It disappeared in 1999, and yeah, no one actually knows where it was or when it disappeared, and I'm wondering, how could a freighter be completely, like, no one knew where it was? Because I showed people at lunch, I know where every ship in the world is on my iPhone. Now, that might not have been as well done in 1999, but it pretty much was. So, some of the stuff, you have to be like, did the ship even exist? And I couldn't find evidence of that. A 16-foot fishing vessel disappeared in 2003 in the Bermuda Triangle. True. Okay, how many fishing vessels are there? How many ships disappear in these waters? Just because it is a dangerous place to be, and there's a lot of ships. All right, not compelling, but it counts. USS Cyclops, March 1918. They know where it disappeared now. We have learned that. Chesapeake Bay. That's here. So, yeah, no, sorry. Being in the same ocean as the Bermuda Triangle does not count. Okay, the SS Hewitt, southeastern U.S. That's all they've got, somewhere in southeastern U.S. However, that almost certainly is not in the triangle. Because the only part of the southeastern U.S. in the triangle is what we went through yesterday. So unless it's just off the coast of Miami in that little narrow area, which they would have seen from land, yeah, no. So that one also doesn't count. What do we got after the Hewitt? The Carroll A. Deering, very similar story. I think there was a Skeptoid about this recently too. It's another mystery ship thing, and they sent a prize crew aboard.
Oh, Brian.
I turned that off. Yeah, don't send any more text messages.
I wasn't sending that to you.
Okay.
Sue, where are you?
Right here.
By Ronnie now.
Yeah,
The text told you where she was.
All right.
He's going back and
So, we're almost done.
replay the tape.
All right. So Carroll Deering, another one of these mystery ships that goes missing, and this one was they sent a prize crew aboard the ship
Yeah.
to save it, and then the prize crew disappeared. And then the next day the ship disappeared. Ooh, yeah, no, that was 1921. But again, that was in Cape Hatteras, one of the stormiest places in the U.S. So no, that doesn't count. SS Cotopaxi, well known for being in the extended version of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It is not in a desert.
Recently found.
Yeah, and well, in Nova Scotia. Yeah, 1942 that sank during a war in Nova Scotia. The Revenant, 1958, sank off Cuba. Sorry, no dice. And there was a big storm. Also, I should add, the Cyclops, they know, did I get to the Cyclops yet? No, I'm sorry. All right, the Nereus, Proteus, and Cyclops were all sister ships. And they had all one thing in common. They were terrible designs. And they all sank basically on the same route. And we know this now, and they're all accused of being Bermuda Triangle ships. But one of them sank 40 miles off the coast of Jacksonville, which is way up here. One of them sank in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. And the other one sank in the Virgin Islands, which aren't even on the map. So, well, they're right here. So yeah, no. You see a pattern here? Yeah, and then Marine Sulphur Queen, another famous one, sank the streets of Florida, right where we are now. But it was never found, but that's not the Bermuda Triangle. The Witchcraft, yeah, 1967, sank in Miami Harbor. Okay, it's in the Bermuda Triangle, but people watched another ship hit it. I think we know the mystery of that one. The fishing boat What's Left in 2003 left Naples, Florida, and was never seen again. Anyone know where Naples is? It's on the west coast. Yeah. This little tiny fishing boat, like this is like a sport fishing boat. For them to get into the Bermuda Triangle would have been a feat. Okay, the El Fargo cargo ship. This was the most recent one that I could find. This was in 2015. Anyone know this story? They sailed right into a hurricane. Like, ships are faster than hurricanes. The captain was like, screw it, and went right through the hurricane, and they sank in something like 3,000 feet of water. They found the EPIRB, everything is known about this. But it did happen in the Bermuda Triangle, it was east of San Salvador, where Columbus first made land in the New World. And finally, the last one was a Mako Cuddy Cabin, which is just a type of boat. No one even knows what the name is, which is odd. This was in 2020, and it had a capacity of 6 passengers, and it sailed to 20.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that might have had something to do with it, but it was in the Bermuda Triangle. So looking at my total here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of all those ships I mentioned, 1 in 5 was actually in the Bermuda Triangle. So maybe there's not much of a mystery. I don't know.
There's a new mystery. Why do so few ships sink in?
Well, and I'm sure someone else is going to mention this, but the definitive answer to the Bermuda Triangle problem can be found with Lloyd's of London, who does not charge any more to insure vessels on these waters than any other. So clearly, if there were a problem, Lloyd's of London would want to make a little extra cash. So that's it. Now you know the fate of all these vessels that disappear in the Bermuda Triangle. Sorry to unweave your rainbow. However, we are still going to tempt fate as we head back. It's been an entire day in the Triangle.
Whoa!
Okay, I will now shut up, and I'm going to ask Brian to come up and set up the next.